Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and I'm here to review Cutthroat City. And this is from director RZA, who has made some films in the past that are a lot of style, not a whole lot of substance, and he takes the reins of this heist kind of film that's set in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, about a group of young men who turn to robbing banks and robbing FEMA to try to get in a better place for themselves, and also to protest really the poor treatment of people in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. And this is some serious business. And honestly, this is probably the best RZA directed film I've seen. And he really ups the notch here in terms of there's definitely style and there's some slow motion moments, but it really nails a lot of powerful messaging because this film is about some serious things. And there's some intense moments and there's some really emotional moments leading up to a pretty moving climax of the film, and that really hits close to home, especially today with so many similar kinds of things going on in terms of the police. And this film is really anchored by a group of young actors like Shameik Moore and Demetrius Shipp Jr., who played Tupac. And then those two are really at the center of leading this film, and Shipp has a lot of great lines to it. It's like, honestly, towards the beginning of the film, I laughed a decent amount, and I appreciate the connection these young men had, and there's some thrilling moments. But the biggest thing that I had against this movie is there's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving pieces, like Shameik Moore with his wife and their tension of what he's doing. There's a young detective played by Isa Gonzalez who gets brought onto this case. She knows Shameik Moore's character from college and has this background and is trying to get him out of trouble. You have Ethan Hawke's character, who's a councilman, who Ethan Hawke just shows up and does great acting for a couple of scenes. And you have so many moving pictures, like moving pieces. Terrence Howard shows up, T.I.'s in this, Wesley Snipes is in this playing Shameik Moore's father, and they have some meaningful moments. But the thing is, there's just too many moving pieces, and how the story plays out is overly complex, convoluted, and where there's a really big central standoff and tension and problem between Shameik Moore's character and T.I.'s character. How that's resolved is resolved in an odd way that seems like a big roundabout that it's trying to be poetic and super thematic and like focusing on like these morals. And like they have a scene between Terrence Howard and Ethan Hawke just going back and forth. And it just felt like there's too much going on with too many people in there trying to do things in a roundabout way. And it kind of got distracting and also broke up the pacing of the film, because like this is a little over 2 hours. And then there's still like 20 minutes left, and you're like, where's this movie supposed to go now? And then that's when it really kicks back into gear with some heavy emotional moments. And I felt like towards the resolution of like the end of the second act into the third act was just way too muddled and convoluted in terms of the story, and a little unsatisfying before it kind of righted the ship towards the end of the film. But in general, this is a well-acted, entertaining, and meaningful film. Like, this isn't the best film out there. This isn't one of the top films of the year. I'm glad I got to see this on streaming on virtual cinema off of Prime Video, because this came out in theaters back at like the very end of August, beginning of September. But I still think this is a pretty meaningful film and a worthwhile experience, even if it's trying to do too much. But I would say this is a soft recommend. Go check this out. Honestly, it was only $5 on Amazon too. But those are my thoughts on Cutthroat City. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.